Hey, everyone, and welcome. You made it to Friday, so congratulations. It's 2 o'clock here, at least on the East Coast, and that means it's time for a Cyber Social Hub Hubcast, which we didn't do one for a couple of weeks just because things have been chaotic, and I had a couple guests cancel. But this one, by the way, that I have scheduled today is going to be absolutely awesome. I couldn't ask for a better guest. Lots of fun to chat with her. But before I get to our guests, if you have not joined Cyber Social Hub yet, I don't know why. It's absolutely 100% free, just a resource, right? Go in there. If you got questions about digital forensics, digital investigations, go in, ask your questions. Hopefully someone's there to answer your questions. Usually we get to answer it. And there's a whole bunch of free resources in there. However, where we do lack is where we're about to make up right now with the guests that I'm going to bring on here. A couple quick things real quick. So next week, Sunday. So Sunday, we're going to be doing this broadcast every day, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So we're going to be broadcasting all week live in San Diego, California at Techno Security San Diego. So if you get a chance, just kind of hang out with the channel, or there should be a like and hit the bell for notifications. You can also subscribe to the channel. Sorry, I get this advice from my kids. They tell me, hey, like and subscribe. I guess they're used to hearing that from YouTubers. But go ahead and do that, and it'll notify you every time we go live from San Diego next week. So that'll be a lot of fun. All right. Now, the week after that is going to be a lot of fun because I head down to Osmosis Con. And that is where I'm going to do this really bad segue into my awesome guests here. And I'm going to pull up here Cynthia Hetherington. Cynthia, welcome to the show.
Kevin, thanks very much. I thought it was a pretty good segue.
I'm a little rusty from my radio days,
Oh, I get that, brother. I get that. Now, and certainly techno security, boy, that's come a long way since just the old Myrtle Beach days.
Oh boy, yeah. So San Diego should be some fun. Anyway, it's on a golf resort, and I don't golf much out there, but just to mingle with nerds, I really enjoy that. I miss it. I don't get out of the basement much nowadays. So my wife encourages me to get out because I drive her insane, I think.
Either that or do a load of laundry, for God's sake.
Oh, she would love me for that, right? Absolutely. So you've been busy too. You just got back from, I know you were at HTCIA last week, right?
Yeah, the road's open again, so we're on it. I was at HTCIA. That was an excellent event. We had really good presenters, lots of new techno information. HTCIA being that fusion of law enforcement and industry. It's always good to see the brothers. And the fun thing about this one, Kevin, is I was the planner and coordinator of the same location in Atlantic City 20 years ago.
Oh, really?
So I built the website. I brought all the speakers in. And what I'm really famous for is I hired the band, The Nerds.
Nice.
And this time around, I got smart. You see, I got smart along the way because when someone says, will you volunteer, I run in the other room and hide. But I did bring the Nerds back. So 20 years later, we got the same band, and it was amazing. Oh, that, and I got to meet Megan's dad.
Oh, yeah, Dave. That's phenomenal. Yeah. So kind of the running joke for those of you who don't know, we were at Techno Security in April. And most of you guys, if you've hung out on the Hubcast before, had any dealings with Cyber Social Hub, Megan is like more than my right arm. She is the heavy lifter of the company, and she makes sure everything gets done, everything runs on schedule. Yeah, she just did a hashtag Megan's dad, and yes, I can actually bring that right up here so all can enjoy. There we go. We'll just leave it right there while I finish my talk. So around the conference, Dave works for another company, and no one knew him as Dave. Everyone knew him as Megan's dad, and he took I thought he was getting a little upset about it, but I figured he would be hiding in here somewhere today, but I don't see him in the chat. But yeah, anyway, it's an ongoing joke we have with Dave, which is rather funny. I enjoy it. So thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah, you can't help it. It was sad because I never got his first name. He just said, hi, do you know Megan? I'm like, oh yeah, she's important for us. We do a lot of work together, but he never told me what his name was, so I just kept calling him Megan's dad.
You're making Megan's day right now. I could just imagine her. She's probably laughing right now. So you have a conference also coming up, and I'll get to the topic at hand because I know everyone's wanting to know what the big tips are here. But I do want to talk about what you have in the works, and the closest thing coming up here is in, gosh, it's 2 weeks, right? No, it's like a week and a half. Not even that.
Oh yeah, we're down to the wire. Today we're shipping out everything we need to ship. So the rest of the office is going through some major crisis out there while they're packing, printing certificates. You know what, Kevin? It sold out.
Did it sell out completely?
It actually sold out
That's
a
awesome.
month ago, and we reorganized tables and shifted rooms, and then another 100 people came in. So we're
Nice.
looking at easily 400 in person.
That is
And then there's
awesome.
the Cyber Social Hub, or our global cast version. So we've got
That's
all
right.
those great attendees coming.
That's right. You're going to be broadcasting the event virtually
Mhm.
as well. And they're still virtually, obviously, people can still get in, right?
Oh yes,
Um,
absolutely. Oh hell, if you just email me nicely, I'll find a seat for you in there if you physically want to come. But yeah, virtually there's plenty of space, and this gets recorded. So if you can't sit there through the day, you can kind of catch all of it. And it's again all those OSINTers from all over the world. So we don't get together that often, but when we do, we really bring a lot of good content.
yeah. And I have to say, was it last year? Yeah, last year's my first time ever attending your conference live. And I tell you what, I was so impressed with the quality of show that you put on. And the content alone was so worth it. The information, I wish I'd have known about that show, years ago when I was still an investigator. Uh, this the resources alone of being able to find information and how to, and making those contacts really is what I think is important. Of, hey, I'm looking for some information on this subject or this person. How do I find that? Someone there is going to know at least 50 different ways to do it, right?
Well, it's interesting. For me, the convergence of some real senior veterans in OSINT who walk around and have picked up that heavy lift in their past and have done that. But now also you have those young, ambitious GitHub writing, framework making, they kind of have like the hacker mindset because they think it's still sexy and they don't realize I'm an O-center and I'm wearing a cardigan sweater and I watch PBS specials. But like the two of us get together in a room and they're delivering challenges that we haven't seen, myself and a lot of my senior staff, because we're out there in the field, talking it, singing it, teaching it, but we don't get to do it every day, and they're still doing it. So when we all get together, it's like software gets built at an event. It's very cool. It's a real nice synergy.
That's going to be awesome. Now, Amy, I don't know if Amy's attending this year. Or Amy, are you attending this year in person? I know there's a delay here from our broadcast, whenever, but yeah, Amy says she's going to. Can't wait. She's attending in person. But if you guys are interested here also in either maybe you're down in the Florida area or, hey, you still got time to book tickets down, you can absolutely do so. Let me, oh, yeah, Amy is absolutely going to be there. Great. We'll see you down there, Amy. So
That is awesome.
I just posted the link here in chat, and it should be a clickable link. And I'm also going to show this here really quick. So I'm going to slide over and segue there. You can slide off camera there for a second, Cynthia. See, I don't even have you on screen. That was a perfect segue when you had to take care of some business. So right here,
Yeah.
sorry, my screen is doing some bizarre stuff here. I didn't prep this as well as I should have. I'm on a 3-foot wide monitor, and obviously we don't like to share like this too well. So let me get rid of that little guy too. So here it is. You go to osmosiscon.com. It's the link I just posted up there. And yeah, you can learn all about it and see all the awesome sponsors that are in there. Make your trip 1 week, 1 day. There we go. You got the countdown timer going. So now we know exactly how long it is. The best thing is go, if you're wondering about it, go and just check out the agenda itself, because you're going to learn some amazing stuff. And I apologize, my screen's a little off center. It is not her website. It is my display here. It is absolutely perfect on looking at it on my screen here. But yeah, definitely want to go and take a peek at that. I'm going to bring us back up here. There we go. All right, there we go. Her name's back up. So yeah, I'm excited. I am really excited about it.
Well, so am I because we've been putting this together since last year, and it's just this review of all the presenters, and this year was interesting because it went through a growth spurt, we'll say. I mean,
Mm.
obviously during COVID we couldn't meet in person. Last year we were in person, but people from Europe and any other country couldn't fly in, so there were a lot of Americans there. We did have a lot of international virtually, so we felt this immediate divide. And in open source intelligence, we shouldn't have that. We should all be at the table together helping.
Hmm.
But then this year also, the vendors are actually allowed to travel and put booths up and be out there. So there's a lot of software platforms, Kevin, that I didn't even know, we're calling like, hey, we're OSINT, we developed this during COVID. We want to come to your conference. So I'm really excited to go and just see like what's new in the market, what software. There's geospatial, visual, image, SIGINT. There's all the other ints that are coming in.
Hmm.
And then the last bit is we've sold out, so there's going to be a real rich attendance. And I was looking through the people coming in. For anybody who's ambitious and looking for a job here, it's phenomenal because all the companies that hire OSINTers are going to be there.
Oh, that's
And then
right.
all those companies that are looking for good subcontractors or just trying to find out who the new nubile person is, they'll be there. And of course, the presenters. The presenters are bringing content that is absolutely relevant to today.
Yeah, and with the folks looking for jobs or wanting to network with jobs, if they can't make it, I mean, the online platform is pretty rich, right? I mean, there's a lot of interaction and chatting that goes on
Oh,
back and forth in
the
there.
platform's going to be the next thing,
Yeah.
and it's not a big surprise. We're going to be announcing at the conference. The big news is that Osmosis Con is just going to become plain old Osmosis, and it's going to be an association. So this
Tell
is
me a little about this. How much can you say before a conference? If none, that's fine. We can wait the big reveal.
I'll give you this much.
Because all
I'll give
16
you this
people, we
much.
can keep a secret right now, right? That's on.
Yeah, right. Shh, don't tell anybody. Okay, just me, you, and all of YouTube. No, I'm not afraid to not share. I'm a librarian at heart, so of course I'm going to share. But the members of the conference, people who've paid to come and attend,
Hmm.
get automatic membership for a year because
Really?
it's a soft launch. So anyone who is in the conference this year will be automatically a member unless they choose to opt out. I mean, I don't want to force you into something you want to be in. And the idea behind it is I don't want to do this. I already have a company. I already run a conference. We already publish books. I'm busy enough. But every time we put this conference up, everyone says, I need to have a place more than a conference. I want to keep talking to these O centers.
Hmm.
I want to know what's going on in the market without having to wait a full year. So we were asked to build an association out of it. And there are other groups, there's certifying agents, there's all kinds of great institutions, the Techno Securities, HTCIA, but none of them speak specifically to open source intelligence.
Right.
So we're just, we figured it out. We filed the paperwork, we're opening up a membership management system. And we're basically just going to grandfather everybody that's coming already in because that gives us a basis of membership.
Hmm.
And we'll keep on the global cast, which again, like everyone's in this event right now is used to using, our cyber hubs.
Hmm.
We'll just keep the party going, rolling there, and then we'll have that. So then you'll see future jobs, future certification, future training. And of course, membership means you have benefits that you would have to pay more for on the outside. So trying to make it a real rich landing and platform for OSINTers, which ultimately we need this because we're still considered hackers, hobbyists, genealogists, Googlers. I mean, we're not really like we think we're amazing, but yes, CPA what an OSINTer is, and he will laugh at you, and we don't want that. So let's set up the fraternity, and then
Right.
we'll build the reputation.
And then I always say everyone needs a home for that matter, and this is going to be an awesome institution for sure. Looking forward to seeing that get built up. And the big reveal's not till the conference, so we're not allowed to say anything about it. So you have some other stuff going on too, right? Can you tell people a little bit about the OSINT Academy?
Oh, this is real exciting. Well, every year we like to announce something big. Last year, the OSIN Academy was announced at last year's conference. And it is free training. All right. The important 4-letter F word, free.
That is my
For,
second favorite one. Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, the one you could say on air.
That's right.
But sure enough, it's for people who are interested in learning OSINT, particularly OSINT for due diligence, a little bit more on one side of the house, practical applications for doing background investigations, corporate research, mergers and acquisitions, understanding a person. A lot of times OSINT can really hit. In fact, OSINT is a verb. So OSINT is a platform, but what we do is we use open source intelligence to get to information. So this OSINT Academy is training that was prompted by the NSA, so no such agency, came around and said, you know what, we don't have enough cyber professionals in seats, and America is suffering because we're being attacked. We have problems with, protecting infrastructure. We've got lots of, concerning issues. If we only had more people working. So they went through their Center of Academic Excellence, created a website called Cyber Skills to Work.
That's not us. Hold on. One of these buttons I'll hit is accurate here. There it is.
I kind of like being outlined.
I know. I'm like, there's so many of them. I was like, which one is the right one?
With your 3-foot monitor, you should find it somewhere.
Oh, right. Well, I shared with you this control panel, so I apologize for that. It's like, where is everything at? Too many buttons.
There is no way. But the gist is, next year we're starting back up with a brand new. There'll be 3 terms in the next year, so you want to get yourself enrolled. You go right now. The website is, in fact, this week is the last week. I'm looking at my calendar. The last week of the final term of this year. It was a huge success. I think that the NSA is going to continue this because there were 20 different institutions that offered different types of training. So it's not just OSINT and our OSINT Academy. IBM was teaching AI. I'm sure that, Oracle was teaching databases. I mean, there was a lot of really, really good free training out there on the Cyber Skills to Work program. But of the 800 people who came and registered for any and all of them, we picked up 200. In the very first sweep, we picked up 200. We had the lion's share, and the rest were dispersed on the other 20.
Wow.
So myself and the fine professors over at Dakota State who filtered this all through, what was our obligation? We were supposed to teach 20 people in 3 years.
Wow.
I've taught this year alone 160 people.
That's amazing.
I have a whole other year to do.
I know when you first launched this, I don't know how many people are asking about it and waiting to get in. They got put on literally wait lists, right?
We still have them.
Yeah, to try to take the training on here, which is amazing. So you know the quality is good. It's like stand in that long line for that best ice cream out there, and you'll wait no matter how long it takes. That's what you have right here.
That's it. And we're still getting inquiries. And if anybody, especially any of the listeners, are interested in, just throw your name in the registration, and we'll correspond and follow up with you to see what it is. I will say the preference is for transitioning law enforcement and military, or at least existing law enforcement military or former law enforcement and military. I think that covers everybody because, we're trying to target an audience that already has a little bit of the detective chops, I guess you could say.
Yeah. But
I've let 3 librarians in, and they've done really, really well in the program. In fact, I ended up hiring one.
Wow. Awesome.
Oh, this is transforming lives. We have one fellow out of Tampa Police who went from being a patrol officer to the ICAC unit. I've got little success stories. We're kind of putting them all together, and we're going to highlight them on the website after the conference so that we can take a breather. But the real transitioning, no one has come back and said, well, this is worthless. Even if it was, I picked up a couple extra skills because I'm already actively doing this for work. That's all you need to take away. But it's a 8-week commitment. There's a lot of reading. We lean on Mike Basil's book because Mike wrote excellent work on this. So we use his work, we use my work, and Yeah, thanks, Amy. And we feel like we've got a nice little program. And plus, we're doing a version 2 for FinOsint or Financial OSINT, which I'm real psyched about. I'm actually drawing up that lecture now. So once you go through the one, then you'll be offered the chance to take the next. And frankly, as long as the government keeps paying for it, we'll keep teaching. And and when they stop, we'll have another method for people to gain access to it. Maybe we'll create scholarship programs or something like that.
Oh yeah, that would be great. Yeah, I mean, I've heard nothing but great things. A few people that have gone through it. So if you're interested, and I think Peter had a question, is there a link to it? And he found it. But I did post it in chat. So if you scroll up a couple, it's in there. It's just OSINTacademy.com, OSINTacademy.com, and it's sitting there in chat. I'll put it in the show notes after we're not live anymore, and that way there'll be a firm link to it if you guys are interested in checking that out for sure. And one thing that we never really talk about, and I'm going to try to smush my screen down a little bit for this one, is your own website. I mean, you're promoting conference, you're talking about everything else, but you guys have like a ton of stuff available on your own website. Webinars being probably one of your most popular, right?
It's funny because you're right. It's the redheaded stepchild I forgot about this last month as we've been launching everything else. But on our website, we have lots and lots of webinar offerings, continuous changing material every month, new things. And check out the link on our website, hetheringtongroup.com, for Insights, because Insights is a link to our blog, our white papers, everything on that side of the house is free. And certainly, there's a lot of material. Now, this is a little heartbreaking for me, but my newsletter, Data to Know, Internet and Online Intelligence, has been a print publication for 21 years.
Wow.
And I'm writing the very last issue today for an actual print publication. Because, I'm one of the few people that still believe in paper. And certainly, we've been putting all that out there, but now all that content is going to show up on our blog for free. So, Kevin, my roots, and if for those that aren't familiar, I come from the library world. I mentioned librarian a few times. People are probably trying to figure out what the heck is she talking about. So as a librarian, I believe in information sharing and not siloing. And every time you put a little bit of detail, like we're going to talk about some great tools and tips for our listeners. But every time you put something out there, something better even comes back. So always hit up the website. Always email us with questions. We're here to help. We're here to answer. We're here to serve.
Yeah, I tell you what, your staff, I've met quite a few of them. There's still a ton of them. You're always hiring over this. So I haven't met quite a few of them yet. But they're always helpful. If I have a question, man, I just reach out and somebody's there to quickly answer that for me. Phenomenal customer service. So kudos.
You're really speaking of my staff, but someone ate my bagel this morning and I'm a little pissed off.
They ate your bagel, huh?
It was in the fridge. I'm like, what don't you not understand about the boss? That's what it's named. There's the boss.
I think there was a whole Office episode on this, wasn't there, or something like that?
Literally gonna go around and start dusting keyboards for crumbs.
That's right. You'll find the bagel seeds in between keys, and there's your suspect right there.
Little carb addicts.
That's too funny. Hey, before we get into some of the top OSINT skills you got to have, I want to ask you about one thing here real quick. And to do that, it's going to require me to flip back to the website right here. This right here, where I'm moving my mouse around, this massive mouse, is flipping around. It says Women in IT Summer Award Series, and that Cynthia Hetherington, that would be you, was awarded the 2022 Security Leader of the Year. Look at that. That's pretty amazing. Yeah, that's pretty amazing. And
my mom told me I should leave that out so everyone could see it.
Oh yeah, hey, grab that thing and bring it a little bit closer. That's a well-deserved award there.
I think it's kind of sexist because it's neon pink.
Oh wow, look at that. Yeah.
I'm very like, cool. Could we make that more feminine or like Barbie pink? But yeah, it looks good on the desk.
Heck yeah, that's a serious piece of glass too. You could do some damage with that too if you needed to.
Actually.
So whoever stole her bagel better watch out, is all I'm saying.
it, that was it was quite a shocker, a real surprise. And those that know me, I'm not about the awards, and I love being on stage. I love teaching. I love carrying a microphone and having a good time telling stories and history. But I have pride in my work, but no ego. That represents future generations of young women who need to see someone like me who didn't come from a security background of any way, shape, or form, but still found herself here at the end because of ambition, because of hard work, and technical know-how. And that's really what that represents. So my team really earned it, but I got to wear the evening gown to go up on stage to grab it.
That's awesome. Yeah, congratulations to you and that whole team over there at Hetherington Group. You guys
Thank
do a
you.
phenomenal job. Well worth it. This gives me an excuse to use this button. Hold on. It's not very loud, but there's the applause button. There it is. I barely heard it in my headphone, but nonetheless, it's there.
This is like a red Solo cup on your. Well, this Friday.
Oh heck yeah! Normally we highly encourage it. I literally forgot anything to drink except my coffee this morning. So, and I already gave you your speaker gifts. I think when I saw you in Nashville, right?
I was using one of those last night. Actually, since osmosis is getting closer, I've been using them more and more frequently. They're very nice receptacles, for iced tea.
Yeah, yeah, actually. And if you happen to be on Long Island when you're drinking them, even better yet. So, so what we gave her, and I don't know if you guys are aware, we have like pint glasses and some shot glasses. And hey, speaking of that, hold on, I keep a swag counter right here, and I got to hide my eyes from my camera here because it will try to focus there. But looky there.
Ah, yes, our global guest.
Yeah, I keep it right up here with all my other ones that I got going on. So yeah, that's the one that you had sent me from the 2020, and we were that one virtually, I think, on that one. Yeah, that was the first year you did virtual, wasn't it?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, what is on your side, the Cyber Social Hub, which for us we turn into the Global Cast.
Hmm.
It saved our conference. I mean, I can't be more and more appreciative of Megan and all of her hard work. And then Kevin, you look good on camera, so that's kind of nice that you could. But yeah, a conference like Osmosis, which is really, like I say, it's very important for the OSINT community to have a home. And if we would have let ourselves get wiped out because of COVID and then, attrition and everything else, it would have been a devastation. It would have set our industry back. I really believe that. But because we kept holding on and reaching out, and we have this platform that we could do it on,
Mm-hmm.
it really it elevated it. So we're just finding more and more applications. That's why I said the association is just going to be on the platform. It's going to be amazing.
Yep. And if you guys have been in Cyber Social Hub before, it looks mysteriously very familiar. So you go in there, and it's the social network for OSINTers. I mean, go in there, and you have questions, and that was my biggest thing, and I'm so glad you're creating it for OSINT, is that when you go to these awesome conferences, and a lot of people are sole practitioners, they're doing contract work, and they don't have that big network of people to call, but now they can, with this association, all they have to do now is log in, and now they have access to resources, people. Can ask questions, best practices, or how to find that information, and it's right there as it should have been.
Yeah, I mean, frankly, there's been a big change just in the last 3 days on Facebook, and if you're not working a Facebook case every single day, if you're, you stepped away for 5 minutes and you're going back and you're trying to extract information from someone's account, all of a sudden you're like, oh, what happened? You're going to spend more time trying to find the answer to that. But if you could just pop into a group like this and be like, hey, Facebook, and there's always one guy who's just like knows everything, always has the answer. Like that's all we're doing. We're just bringing that one guy to a platform, and we can just keep asking him questions and throwing all that information out there. So it's in order to stay relevant, our industry moves way too fast. I'm surprised nobody else figured this out already.
Well, it's glad that you're the ones that are doing it. And real quick before I forget, as in the audience, for those of you who are watching, if you're watching later, obviously in the recording, feel free to put your questions down into the comments. But right now, the folks that are here live, if you have a question for Cynthia, just start it with like Q and then colon. And the reason I do that, sometimes chat gets going really fast. You guys are known to get off on your tangents, and then the scroll starts going by really fast. That way, we can find those questions, and I can go back and make sure they get answered from Cynthia, and she can kind of scroll through the chat too. And Ron, you are very accurate. I am indeed locked in a basement. That's where I work. It's a long commute to work down the stairs with my coffee. So yeah, that's it. So with that, I want to do a little knee tap drum roll. I don't have a good drum roll on my my thing here. I have a triangle. There we go. That's not the same. I don't know where that randomness, but so some of the top skills, yeah, I know, right, is really underwhelming. I have a DJ air horn, which I don't want to blast anyone's ears out here, but
let's keep that one out.
There, a little party air horn. There you go. So, and for someone like you, this is going to be, and you could probably rattle off 50 of these, but some of the top OSINT skills, if someone's involved in OSINT or thinking about getting involved more and they're considering maybe a career, what would you say are the top skills that someone should have? I'll let you go in any order that you want. You're the queen of these, so you can start wherever you like.
That's actually a great question. So these are in no particular order, but because they're all equally important. There are 4 things that myself and 4 other training academies discussed. We kind of got together and talked about what we think is absolutely necessary for every OSINTer. Mm-hmm. And then from there, we specialize. So one, and these are going to be very unsexy, but they're absolutely necessary. Ethics. You need to understand where your boundaries are, because in the OSINT field, we are creating the boundaries. There are no boundaries. So we could step into stuff that maybe we don't belong into. Much like the late 90s or early 90s when hackers weren't hackers. They were just kids with computers who were like checking out drives and networks. And, you're on someone's Gopher server, and the next thing you know, you were deep in Bank of America, just exploring people's bank accounts. But so OSINT's not too unfamiliar to that. And you want to always make sure you have a moral compass where if you feel like you're about to do something questionable, you're looking at information that might be, very sensitive or important to somebody else that could do harm. That's your first question. So if you're not clear on what that is, there's plenty of guidebooks on ethics and guidance and leadership. Secondly, and what I consider to be equally as important, is knowing why you're doing something. Before your hands even touch a keyboard, and in fact, in the OSINT Academy, and I see Cheryl, she's one of the past students. She was an A student on the board. Before you even start working for me, or you start working on the OSINT Academy projects or doing any type of prototype, you have to actually write a letter of engagement that talks about what the heck you're going to be doing. And this is both beneficial to you and to the ultimate person you're doing it for, because this says you need to know everything about Kevin DeLong because you are going to hire him to work within your manufacturing plant, and he's going to be putting in internal control systems. Therefore, we want a thorough background check. We don't care what your grades were in high school. We don't care that you have some weird anime fantasy chat board. Those things might be interesting, but come back to the why, because this is why it's helpful for the searcher. They love rabbit holes. They absolutely adore falling into rabbit holes. And we just did one practical exercise where the key example of the guy we're researching is he's a pilot. So that's important. Finding out if his health certificate with the FAA is up to date and current is important. But then I had a student who went off and found out that his wife was also a pilot. And he just spent probably like an hour outlining why that was a problem, the concerning issues, the risk assessment on a wife and husband pilot, and had nothing to do with the why. And he poured all of his heart and energy into it. And I said, that's great, John, but who cares? It's the why. So that's the second thing. Now, once we get our hands on the keyboards, you really do need to spend the time to learn the good old dorking. And Kevin, I don't know if you know Johnny Long. Do you remember Johnny Long?
Don't. The name is familiar.
Johnny Long wrote Google Hacks
Ah.
and like 17 books since then, like The Soft Hacker, like lots of really good, he's a white hat hacker. He's a Christian hacker, which is interesting because he ran off to be a missionary for a bunch of years to Africa. He wrote, his site is I Hack Stuff, and Hackers for Charities is his nonprofit. And Johnny's just this amazing human being. But he was the original Google dork. He was the guy with his friends that were off campus from Google, breaking Google while they were launching their initial search engine. So Sergey Brin and the people who started it were like, go ask those dorks what they think. So that's what Google dorking became. How do we manipulate Google to work the best for us? Because I can give you, and I have access to hundreds of tools. I've got all kinds of great resources out there. Yep, that's Johnny.
Awesome.
But nothing beats understanding the free tools that are in front of you. And I think that that's really, important. So a foundation in knowing this, and not just Google, but the search engines that are accessible and how they change. And then after that, then you start going into your subject matter expertise. You start understanding like a little bit more like, okay, I use OSINT because I'm in the military. So everything I do is looking at China, the Ukraine, Russia, or, OSINT for merger and acquisition. I'm on Wall Street doing financial investment research. OSINT so that it could go into a lot of different directions. Finally, knowing OSINT just for the sake of being a better researcher makes you more efficient at the resource of what you have called the internet.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you know this, Kevin, but in the last 2 years, 96% of the world's data has been created.
Wow.
Pew Research came down with that, and that would be a verifiable and vetted resource, which is another thing we all need to know how to do, is to discern from misinformation, disinformation, and how to vet information. But Pew came down and said, because of TikTok and Twitter, 96% of the world's data has been created in just a matter of days compared to the world span of the world. So since some caveman was scraping, charcoal on a wall to today, most everything. Now, how is anyone in their right mind supposed to practically research using these devices in front of us when that much data is something that you have to filter through? Which is why OSINT is so imperative, because proper research gets a person to the answer faster. Neil Gaiman, the famous author, amazing author, if anyone hasn't read him, wrote, Google will bring you back 100,000 answers. A librarian will bring you back the right one.
That's very true.
And by default, an OSINTer will also bring you back the right one. Really, OSINTers are just a bunch of librarians. You're curators of information, finding answers for questions. I just nerded entire profession.
That's so awesome. Yeah, and speaking of that, that's how you got started in all this, right? I mean, that was kind of, I usually ask that at the very beginning, and I jumped the gun because I was excited about your conference. Oh, look at that. Reference librarian. That's stinking awesome.
I've had this since my first public library job.
No kidding. Wow.
Yeah, I'm still a librarian. It's a calling. It's not, it's like being a police officer, Kevin. You're still, if you see something in front of you, you're going to say something. And if you have the ability to do something, you're going to do something about it. Well, I can't help but answer questions.
That's great. So I guess with Hetherington Group, how long have you been doing this now? And how has that progressed through the years? And because it's big now. I mean, you have a lot of staff. I don't know them all.
No, I don't either, actually. I have staff I've never met. I do. I was just corresponding with Michael, and he's out right off of Snow Island in the Seattle area. We celebrated this past Saturday, October 1st, 23 years in business.
Wow, congratulations. See, that's another one of my applause. There we go. Got to hit the applause coming out of there with that.
23 years in business. COVID was actually very kind to us because we can work from anywhere.
Right.
So, we didn't suffer the same unfortunate disruption that a lot of companies had. Therefore, we were able to keep scheming and scamming and building. COVID also created a lot of opportunity because we specialize in not only finding information, but removing it from the internet. So as people were going to work from home, these CEOs and executives are like, wait a minute, my house address is available because I'm home every day. My kids are working at the dining room table doing school. So our business grew by 400% in the last 3 years.
Wow. Amazing.
It sounds like a lot, but it means I have 25 employees.
That's huge. That's huge. Congrats
for
on
a
that.
private detective agency, it's actually unheard of. I mean, once you start getting here, that's the the control risk groups and the crawls, which are enormous compared to me, but they start calling you up. Pinkerton, we hit their radar.
Mm-hmm.
And the trick is now there are other private detective agencies that have that much manpower, but they're field investigators. They're doing insurance investigations. They're sitting in surveillance. They're doing interviews. They might be doing internal investigations at companies. So they're all boots on the ground guys. Where I have analysts sitting all over the country, and I'm in a church, which is another story, but I have a bunch of analysts sitting out in the pews right now doing work from there. At least they think they're working. I hear a lot of chatter going on, but
in the pews.
I'm in the pastor's office.
It's true fact though, because I remember talking to Paul when you guys first moved over there, and he had like the mural was Noah's Ark in the background until you remodeled.
We were in the basement.
Yeah.
So that was the little kids' room, where they put the infants down for daycare. Yeah. So we finally moved upstairs, and
wow, that's your office now. I thought you were like talking to me from home there for a minute. That's a beautiful office.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the light fixture though. It's very COVID.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like it.
But yeah, so the nice thing is that you have to find the sunrise on a dark day. So we were operating out of a house. We treated our last office like an accountant or an attorney would, operating a little agency out of a little house front. But we started growing, and I needed more space. But houses outside of the New York metro area were selling like anything, so it sold for a ridiculous amount. And not a half a mile up the road, this church was for sale. And to me, a church is just a very large, open space. And I was like, ooh, Operations Center. And it's near and dear to my heart because I'm a North Jersey Italian Catholic. So in God we trust, but all others we monitor.
That's right.
So, and if the CIA can operate off a farm, I'm okay here.
That's right. That's amazing. I mean, that office looks phenomenal. Sorry, I'm moving your camera around slightly. There we go. So yeah, you guys did a great job with that. It doesn't even look the same. Not even close.
Well, you know what the problem is? The couch is too comfortable. Staff come in there, sit down. I can't get them out. I feel like I'm Freud.
You get all cozy in front of the fireplace you get going on since the temperature is starting to change. Your weather's not much different than mine here in Northern Ohio.
Most important on the other side of the windows is the second piece of property, which is open and fenced in for the dogs, because we would never be in a building that you couldn't have dogs, because we all bring our dogs to work. So that's why I keep seeing off screen. I have to open and close the office door to let the dog in.
I saw. I think she was one of your newer employees. Had a little dog. Sarah had shown the other day. Yeah. And I was like, man, there's always a new dog to meet. And mine's normally, sleeping right back here on the bed. But she's not right now. She got banned from the office just for the hubcast here. I know she's gonna be mad at me when I go back up.
Rightfully so. But yeah, it's all, my company value system, there's only 3 of them. Number 1 is my staff. You have to be growing, thriving, challenged, living every day to your fullest. And number 2 is my clients, because they make everything possible for us. And then the third one is, if the dogs aren't happy, no one's happy. The canary in a coal mine.
That's very true. That's very true. Oh, Amy, I'm sorry. I saw this come up here, and I don't know what the next osmosis shirt should be. I missed what the comment was. What comment did we make?
In God we trust, all others we monitor.
Oh, that's it. Perfect. I saw that fly by, and I'm like, what was she referring back to? Oh, that's excellent. I'm going to grab a couple questions here real quick and trying to be respectful of your time because you are probably the busiest person in this industry I have ever met. At least you are the road warrior queen. Um, so is this a question? Oh, this is just, I guess, someone who's going to be there and taking 12 team members down. Awesome. Cheryl? Yeah,
Whew. Cheryl, look at you.
that's all right. Do you two know each other? You
Cheryl's an
will.
OSINT Academy
Oh, there you go.
learner, so she is amazing. And it's interesting, the folks, especially for OSINT, the folks that were dialing in from the West Coast, and I'm not talking California, a little further north, had quite the proclivity for really good authorship. And it's notable. I wonder the schooling, the education, the background, what went into it. Because a lot of the time we spend, OSINT's great, right? We're all good at finding stuff on the internet. We use the tools, we make our GitHubs, but getting an analyst to write a report is the struggle. Relaying the information to the ultimate client or customers where it comes out, and Cheryl was quite adept at that. Excuse me, she was quite adroit at that.
Yeah, and it's no different. My background's in digital forensics, and it's no different. We like to find the stuff, but we hate to write the reports on actually when we find it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I have another one here from Peter. Let's see if we can fit him on the screen. Yeah, he says, I'm currently in cybersecurity degree program and just interested in digital forensics. Where would I start to look for internships or entry-level jobs in forensics slash OSINT? Well, you can definitely handle the OSINT side of that question.
Yeah, the defer is a whole other side. But I'll tell you, for OSINT, there's a great document out there that Paul Raphael shared, and he's on our board of advisors. And it was all the things we call OSINT in the job market, because it really is all over the place. So Peter, I would recommend, hit Indeed, because Indeed is a very popular job site for finding work. And you look for the words risk intelligence, just intelligence, travel security, open source intelligence, use the obvious acronyms, database searching, desktop searching, or desktop detective, like everything that this gets called, because those companies are going to call them all different things. And then, of course, the word analyst, because there's going to be financial analysts, there's going to be research analysts, there could be others. But buried within there, they're going to be investigative analysts, and that's also going to be another one. I actually never called OSIN. I always just called it internet research. And when my classes were rolling around in the late 90s and early 2000s, it was advanced internet research. It's not very sexy. OSINT's much sexier. But then we started really seeing the convergence of all the different trade crafts coming to the table. So we are trying to regulate that. And then finally, like I said, we're going to have OSINT jobs advertised on the message board. And frankly, because I'm the lady at the helm, all the companies that are looking to hire new OSINTers, the corporate security directors call me up. Like I've got a major sports franchise, almost said it, a major sports franchise is looking for a new GSOC operator. I've got a computer manufacturer and 3 pharmaceuticals are all hiring right now. So frankly, I fish from my past students that went through the academy because I could vouch for them. I put it out on my message boards. I do share on LinkedIn too. I do a lot of LinkedIn. It's my jam. But, we're a small collective, so you definitely want to kind of keep hitting up other people too. And ask for jobs. Just because they're not advertising doesn't mean that there's not a role for you there.
Oh boy, it's real big because you just never know if there's one coming open or they've been thinking about something and you ask and hey, you're the first one there. As for the digital forensics side of the house, man, there's like just a million places. Again, if I think our job boards are down right now on Cyber Social Hub, but actually, if you just type cybersocialhub.com/jobs, they're still working. There's some ugliness going on with it, the display, so I don't have it public, but you can go and check for digital forensic jobs there. We don't handle the OSINT side of the house. Cynthia's crew is the best resource for that. But yeah, there's just a ton. You can join Cyber Social Hub and ask, and you're going to get a million answers on the digital forensic side of the house on that. Cynthia, your conference is in, hold on, I got to look at the countdown now because it's ticking away here. Is in, see, now I'm getting there. 1 week, 1 day, 18 hours, 9 minutes, and 40 seconds. Mark, done. Not to put pressure on you or to make you feel the stress. Because
Well,
I just
I'm
got to
like
come
you.
down and push buttons. It's easy for me.
I have a conference right before then I got to go to like you, except mine is the Southwest Intelligence Summit,
Oh, that's right. That's right.
University of Arizona, and they've got a lot of clout in that space because they're a center of academic excellence and information and operation warfare.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow I'm a professor there.
That's great.
I teach a single class. Yeah, I teach OSINT there. So they asked me to come. They spoke virtually last year, and they asked me to come this year. And it's the day before my own conference, but the national director of intelligence, Avril Haines, is presenting, and they're like, Cynthia, Avril's going to be there. And I'm like, oh, I want to meet her.
Oh, that's great.
She is the highest ranking intelligence officer in the country.
Wow.
I'm like, I'm fangirling hard, I'm like, and the conference is about diversity, so I could pick up and talk about things that mean something to me, like, getting young girls into cyber seats. And then that'll be the last thing I'm saying as they're escorting me out of the building away from Avril Haines.
We'll definitely see the social media of you getting dragged out of the building. That's great.
It's going to make for an interesting story because, unfortunately, a sad sideline on the campus there in Tucson earlier this week, a former student came into one of the campus buildings, shot and killed a professor.
Oh, no.
It was
Really?
an active shooter situation, yeah.
Jeez.
So my class, we spent some time OSINTing him to learn more about the alleged shooter.
Yeah.
And to understand maybe more of the mindset. And that's, folks, I mean, if you're not doing OSINT, that's also a huge opportunity, especially within the law enforcement community.
Absolutely.
Is that as events are unfolding, you are providing very, very important information to the boots on the ground. OSINT's always in collection with a physical actor. So if there's a march or a protest moving through your community, heck, there could be a parade coming through your community and something is looking off, and you think that something negative is going to be happening for it, you want to make sure that street cop or that security team on the ground knows what's being said, the hashtag that's starting to circulate and the conditions that they're stepping into. We have physically watched people moving through the streets online hundreds of miles away, Unite the Right and other real insane protests that have happened.
Yeah. Yeah, it's insane. I wrote, anyway, I won't get into it, but I wrote a little Twitter script that can track some geo stuff that happens on Twitter live, and it pulls down to a database, and we give that away for free too. John says, thanks, Kevin and Cynthia, for a great live event and sharing. It's not my event, it's all hers. And she's going to share some OSINT principles and methodologies. Yes. So here, I wish we could do the matrix on your brain and just, pop the data cable in the back and start pulling all the information out. But unfortunately, in the hour time that we have, we can't pull that much information. So, John,
I got this thumb drive from China. I'll just stick it in my ear.
yeah. Oh, mercy. I think the first time, Cynthia, I met you, we started bantering. It was actually before we met. It was, what was that show that we were watching that was like really steampunk, cyberpunk? On a Netflix series. Man, we were bantering back and forth on that long before we even met, which was fun.
There's so much Netflix underneath.
It only had a couple seasons in it. Poe, I remember, was the bartender, right?
Oh,
but I can't remember the name of the series because he actually commented to me on Twitter back because I said that's my favorite character by far, and then the actor that played him was thanking me back on Twitter. I was like, oh, hello, he's watching his own stuff. Good.
I love that. I love when you rate celebrities and they actually reach back to you and you're like, whoa, that's happened.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. I thought he did a phenomenal job. His character is based off Edgar Allan Poe, obviously, as a bartender in this old. Anyway, it was great. You have to watch it, and I can't remember the name of it for the life of me. And I know you're OSing it now. Altered Carbon. Yes, there it is. Somebody went and grabbed it right there.
Oh, awesome.
I didn't have time. I didn't want to type and interfere with it, but yeah, absolutely, it was Altered Carbon.
There it is. I see it, fandom.
Yep. It
A
was,
beat me.
what's that?
A beat me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you found
Yeah. I couldn't remember. I'm like, oh man, I watched 2 seasons of it. I'm like trying to remember it. And it's, yeah, it's the old man's brain got to me at that point.
it.
So if there's any other last minute questions for Cynthia, go ahead and type them into chat now. If not, you can put them in the comments afterwards, and I'll be sure to forward them along to her. But you can also, don't forget, go to osmosiscon.com. That link is also in the chat, and I'll probably throw them in here just before we shut off the live stream. The OSINT Academy, if you're interested in that. And then, of course, Cynthia's company, the Hetherington Group. And she's very humble calling it a small organization. It is a premier organization, in my opinion. So I would highly recommend, if you have any questions in OSINT and need resources, that's where you go and check it out. Cynthia, thank you so much. I don't want to take up too much of your time. Now, I don't know that I gave you one of these, though, while I saw you, because I usually wait till after someone actually appears to get them one of these little guys. Hold on. There it is.
Is that a bullet?
It kind of does look like one. Yeah, look how big this thing is. So if this is an A10 Warthog, which is this plane right there.
Okay.
And this is a training round converted into a shot glass that you can actually drink out of. Or if you're not a drinker, you can make candles, but I don't know. Yeah, right. But it says Cyber Social Hub Hubcast, and you're going to get one of these things just for
I don't know what you're talking about, Kevin.
for popping on. You're a candle maker, right? Yeah. For popping on the show. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thanks.
We'll get that to you when I see. I'll probably just bring it down to Tampa here in 1 week, 1 day, 18 hours, 2 minutes, and 47 seconds. So, yeah.
Can I throw one last quick pit?
Yeah, go for it.
I don't want folks to think that they have to sign up and become and join and outlay money. Here's a good OSINT tactic for OSINTing and OSINT learning. If you can't attend this year, that's fine. It's a last minute. There's obviously like a countdown going on at this point, but please consider that you scrub the website itself. Look at all the vendors and sponsors that are advertising there. Visit their websites and learn from all the material that they're offering. And then check out all of this year's speakers and past speakers and follow them on Twitter or their social media blogs, because you can self-learn just from, picking up the tips and tricks, because, all these people are pretty seasoned speakers. And I think Arno Reuser is also really into cosplay.
Arno was great.
Interesting. Oh, yeah.
He's Dutch, right?
He's from the Leiden, Netherlands. He's quite a character, but
he is.
But every one of these folks here have really active social media sites, so you can learn just from following them. And again, check out the vendors, because they all have really good content on each one of their websites. So it's kind of a way to be part of something without, shelling out a couple bucks. But if you do, you'll get the association this year as well, which is kind of a twofer on this year's attendance.
Yeah, and I tell you what, I'm really looking forward to it. And again, if you can't swing down, there's still seats in the virtual, right? Sure.
Always, yeah. And the virtual's fun. The chat room in the virtual is pretty. It gets pretty spicy. Sometimes we have to come in here and be like, "Okay, kids, calm it down."
And there's gifts. That's my favorite part of it. You can express yourself through gifts, and I know Megan is. She can communicate only in gifts. She has that skill set. She can an entire sentence in just gifts. So I know
Megan has a lot of skills. Megan is just, like I say, she props up the whole thing.
So yeah, you can come in. I'll be in chat for sure. And I know you occasionally pop in during sessions and everything that you can do that. So yeah, so thank you again so very much for popping on the show. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys get a chance to check out, if you're an OSINTer, some information that Cynthia or her group has. Cynthia, thank you very much. I very much appreciate it. And again, if you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments under the YouTube video. The live chat's going to be obviously disabled as soon as we're done going live here. But again, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Hey, and don't go anywhere. Be right back.